What happens if I overstay my visa? Hi, my name is Rahim Danani. I'm an immigration attorney and owner of the Danani Law Firm. So when you come into the U.S., you are coming in using a visa that was issued to you by the U.S. State Department. You had an interview at the consulate in most cases, and they approved your application, and they pasted a visa in your passport. And then you're using that visa to enter the U.S. If you don't have a visa, then you would, in most cases, not be able to enter the United States. You'd get, the airlines probably wouldn't actually let you board an airplane because you don't have a valid visa. So let's say you got the visa and it's issued, you get on the plane and you enter the United States and you land at the airport. Once you land at the airport, the U.S. Customs officer is going to look at your passport and your visa. Then they're going to issue you what's called an I-94 card. The I-94 card is actually what controls how long you can stay inside the United States. It's not the visa that controls how long you can stay here. It's actually the I-94 card, which is issued by the U.S. Customs and not by the U.S. State Department who issued your visa. So it's an important distinction, and you should really keep that in mind. Now, let's say that you came in and you have the I-94 card. The I-94 card, in most cases, it actually will line up with the expiration on your visa, but a lot of times it doesn't always happen that way. I had a client one time who had a e-visa and thought that she was eligible to stay until the expiration date on the visa, but it turns out that her I-94 card had already expired, and because of that, she wasn't able to leave the U.S. and get another e-visa. So in her case, we were able to find some exceptions and kind of work things out, but it caused a lot of problems for her because she wasn't paying attention to what was on the I-94 card. Another thing to remember about this I-94 card is that it's actually not a card that's physically given to you at the airport. What happens is after you leave the airport, U.S. Customs will eventually put up your I-94 card onto their website in a secure portal area. And so what you have to do is go onto the Customs and Border Protection website and look up your I-94 card, and it'll ask you for things like your first name, last name, passport number, date of birth, and then it'll let you see the I-94 card. It's really important that you make sure that your I-94 card expires on the date that you're expecting it to expire. If it doesn't expire on that date, then you need to contact Customs and see if they can extend it, or it's not something that you're really comfortable with doing. You need to reach out to an attorney to get their help on getting the I-94 card to match what the expectation actually is as far as how long the I-94 card should be valid for. Going back to the initial question, it's not really when your visa expires, it's when your I-94 card expires. And if your I-94 card has expired, there's some issues with that. One is if you stay beyond the date that your I-94 card expires, then your visa is, in most cases, going to be automatically canceled. And if you stay in the U.S. more than 6 months beyond the date that the I-94 card expires, then you're not going to be able to come back into the U.S. if you leave the U.S. for a period of 3 years. And if your I-94 card has expired for more than a year and you leave the U.S., you won't be able to come back for 10 years. This is called a 3-year, 10-year bar. So there are some exceptions where you might be able to apply for a waiver, or there might be some certain types of cases where you can still regain status after your I-94 card has expired. But for our purposes today, the main point is you want to make sure that your I-94 card does not expire before you leave the United States. What you want to do is leave in a timely fashion before the I-94 card expires, unless you already have spoken with an attorney who has a plan as far as how you're going to extend your status in the United States, or maybe change to another status, or they've come up with a general strategy on how you can stay beyond the initial time that's listed on the I-94 card. So I hope that's helpful. If you have questions about this issue, you can feel free to reach out to us. Our information is in the discussion section below. And if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll try to put out more content for you. Have a good one.